Hello friends, welcome back to my channel for Coffee and Questions, where I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee and answer all of the questions that you have submitted to me over the last couple of days. Admittedly, right off the bat, we're going to make this a two-part video because as I was compiling these questions, I was like, whoa, there are far too many to be able to fit into a reasonable length video. Congratulations to you for asking so many questions because it means that I'm doing two parts. In my cup right now, we have the Pumpkin Wishes and Harvest Kisses mug from Sweet Mint Handmade that I think is like 2 or 3 years old for me now. And in my mug is not fall coffee. Oh no, because why would we do that? That's totally predictable. I got the holiday pack of nut pods, which means that I have my favorite, my beloved peppermint mocha back in my possession. But wait, there's more. Starbucks released Holiday Blend Nespresso Virtuo Pods. So in my cup right now is Holiday Blend with peppermint mocha creamer, and I'm about to take my first sip. I have waited until I could catch this moment on camera. Yes. Yes, you know, if I have to gear myself up for the cold, I'm going straight into Christmas season, and I'm not sorry. So these questions that I have compiled here on my little notes app are in no particular order, just the order that I picked them up off of Instagram and Facebook and my Discord channel and all of that. And we're gonna see where the conversation takes us. So sit back, grab a cup of something warm, get cozy, and let's chat. First question is this your first time intuitive eating or have you dabbled in it before? As much as I would like to say, no, I've dabbled in intuitive eating before, that's actually not true. A lot of people actually think that not dieting and intuitive eating are the same thing, and they are definitely not. Not dieting is typically what happens when a dieter falls off track or decides they're taking a break, and instead of being an intuitive eater and listening to their body and listening to their hunger, fullness, satisfaction, etc., they go all in on eating all of the junk that they have restricted with the knowledge that, oh, it's okay, I can always go back to restricting later. Those are two very different circumstances. And while I would love to say that I have dabbled in intuitive eating before, the reality probably is that I have dabbled in not dieting before, with always having dieting to fall back on. So this is my first time officially embracing intuitive eating, researching what it means, taking its principles seriously and applying them to my life, not thinking about good food, bad food, not thinking about how many grams of protein is in this specific thing or how many calories might be in this specific thing that I am eating, but just listening to hunger and fullness and gentle nutrition and making sure I use my nutritional knowledge to create nourishing meals for myself, yes, but also allowing myself to have treats and listen to my body. And if I'm hungry an hour after I've eaten, allowing myself to eat again and not going, oh, gotta figure out how to stave off hunger until dinner. No, I don't play that game anymore. So this is definitely my first time actually, officially, intuitively eating, and I am loving every second of it. Next question is, do you weigh yourself every day still? Yes, pretty much. I weigh myself, I would probably say anywhere from 4 to 6 times a week. I don't step on the scale every single day, but if the situation is right and I haven't like consumed a whole bunch of water or something and you know, I'm in the middle of changing and whatever, I'll be like, oh, let's check in. So probably at least 3 days a week, but not every single day, but yes. And here's the thing, does that directly contradict intuitive eating? It might, by some people's definition of intuitive eating, but I, as you have learned by coming on my channel, I have my own definition of what intuitive eating means. And I firmly believe that if the number on the scale is not a problem for you, if it's not a trigger for you, and I have done a lot of work even in my tracking days to make the number on the scale simply a data point, to show me where I'm at, to be able to normalize my weight fluctuations up and down, which are completely normal. So I've made peace with the number on the scale. So for me, I just step on there because I'm curious, because I want to learn what my body is doing and I want to see the ebbs and flows as I've let go of tracking. What makes the scale go up? What makes the scale go down? And what's fascinating is the days like I get on the scale and I get a loss that I didn't deserve. Like yesterday, I felt like I didn't even overeat. I can't say I overate because I didn't eat till past fullness. I just had some more indulgent treats at the end of the evening because I finished one and I found I was still hungry. I was not satisfied. So I had another. And dieting Brianna was like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? What did you do? But I was like, no, we don't play that game anymore. It's okay. And I stopped and I like did a body scan and assessed the situation. I was like, you're not even overstuffed. It's not like you overindulged. You ate until you were no longer hungry. And just given the time of day, you decided to have 2 desserts. And I woke up this morning and the scale was the lowest it has been in a week. So I'm weighing myself just to check in and see what exactly is happening in my body because I'm genuinely curious. This is a new journey for me. And so I want to see how this journey affects everything, including my measurements, including my number on the scale. What are some ways I can get more protein in? I have been struggling. So I've said this a handful of times. Protein is a wonderful macronutrient. It is something we need. It is the building blocks for our muscles. We love protein. It's also the most satisfying macronutrient, all that jazz. When people are like, I gotta increase my protein, a lot of people often go, okay, I have to add a couple of protein-filled snacks into my day. I have to figure out how to add more meal times into my day. And they often overlook the easiest and most obvious answers for how to increase your protein. Starting with simply make sure you have a protein focus at every meal. When you wake up and you have breakfast, where's your protein? At lunch, where's your protein? At dinner, where's your protein? And if you still feel like you're falling behind as you snack, always ask yourself, where's the protein? Because it's not hard to find it if you go looking for it. But if you're somebody, especially in like the tracking and the Weight Watchers and in the healthy world, healthy, HEALTHI, the tracking app world, we gravitate towards the 0-bite, 0-point foods, which is often fruits or vegetables. There's not a whole lot of protein there. You need to add a protein. You need to be more specific about what kind of foods you're eating when. So always ask yourself when you're going to eat, where's the protein? If protein is what you are looking for. Other easy ways to easily increase it is, of course, increase the serving size of the protein you've already planned. So many of us are like, oh, but I gotta add all these things and then it's too much food or too many calories or too many this. And we fail to realize that like the simple act of like, if you're having 2 eggs for breakfast, add 2 servings of liquid egg whites, and that adds 10 grams of protein. Like easy. If you have a sandwich with 2 ounces of turkey on it for lunch, can you make it 3 or 4? Boom, adds more protein. Do you see what I'm saying? A serving size of chicken breast or pork tenderloin, and you typically go, oh, my little 3-ounce serving. Can you make it 4 or 5? Can you just increase the portion sizes of what you had already planned? You don't have to go out of your way to create this other meal opportunity to get more protein. You can incorporate it in simply by increasing the serving size of what you were already going to eat anyway. And then of course, don't forget that non-meat and non-dairy items also have protein in it. Grains is a great place to look for some protein. Get a nice hearty, instead of like the floofy 45 calories a slice white bread, get yourself a hearty bread. If you find a good bread like Angelic Bakehouse bread or the sprouted breads from Trader Joe's, you will find that they have 5 grams of protein in each slice as well as some fiber on the side. Like talk about a nourishing piece of bread. Oh my goodness. Beans, hello. Chickpeas, absolutely. There are many other ways to get your protein in outside of your primary protein source. So if you're having a sandwich, maybe your answer to having a sandwich is having it on 2 slices of that bread that also has protein in it, and you've added 10 grams of protein to your sandwich through the bread alone. You can definitely make sure that you add a couple of components to your meal, to your plate, to increase the protein. If you're gonna have pasta, my husband and I actually really enjoy Banza pasta, which is made from chickpeas, and that has fiber and that has protein in it. So it's a really easy way to amp up your pasta dish by not denying yourself pasta, but choosing a type of pasta that still tastes good, but also has more protein in it. Using these 3 tactics, it should be really easy for you to compile enough protein to get you close to your goal. What is your favorite way to celebrate accomplishments and milestones of your own and of the people closest to you? What a great question. For the people closest to me, it's however they want to celebrate. It's however they want to celebrate. When I think of, the people closest to me, I think of my husband, and my husband is very much somebody who likes external validation. So words of affirmation, big love language for him. So telling him I appreciate him, telling him he did great work, telling him how proud I am of him is the pat on the head that he appreciates and makes him feel good and validated and celebrated. Like I said, it's very much about the individual. So maybe if I really want to celebrate one of my husband's accomplishments, I either say, let's play video games and go pick up his favorite beer and have like a lounging video game day, or take him to a new brewery or an experience that I know he would enjoy. Whereas if I wanted to celebrate maybe one of my sisters, I'd say, hey, let's go get pedicures, or hey, can I take you out out to lunch. When I celebrate myself, I like things. I am a material girl living in a material world. So if I am going to be rewarded, I like to be rewarded with stuff. Call it a character flaw or not, but it is how I prefer to be rewarded. I can't even tell you why, but I love things. So my husband buying me, like even flowers. My husband will buy me flowers just to celebrate something small. Or like I will go out and I will buy myself a new something, typically along the vein of like a new shirt or a new piece of jewelry or a new like piece of makeup. Oh, it's treat myself day. I'm rewarding myself. I'm gonna go to Ulta and allow myself to pick up a few things. That's how I like to celebrate. How other people celebrate me is very much with, again, words of affirmation, telling me that they're proud of me or acknowledging my accomplishments, things of that nature. And sometimes, like occasionally I'll have a friend that will celebrate me by sending me a Starbucks gift card or something small that'll be like, hey, great job, go treat yourself to a cup of coffee. And no matter how big or small, I might be a material girl, but I love the little things. My husband has also been known on more than one occasion. I have card from him that he purchased a card for my wife. Like that's what it's called, like for my wife, like a non-occasion specific card. And he will just write really loving words of affirmation in the card. And I have one that I keep on my desk because then every time I see it, I am reminded just how much he appreciates the work I do and how much he loves me and what he appreciates. So whenever I'm feeling those down days, I know how to pick myself up, which I know is not quite the same as being celebrated, but like I love that there are occasions where I'm celebrated not for a specific milestone, but just because I am. And that is valuable too. So you don't even necessarily have to wait for a specific milestone to celebrate somebody. Look for the little reasons to celebrate people, but I cater them to specific occasions based on specific people. Where do you find inspiration for your work? Is it from sources off of social media, from certain social media accounts, or a combination of both? So it's not just like on social media, but a lot of the inspiration for the content I create outside of the vlogs, like vlogs are just, let me share my life with people. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, really like that. And I can't even blame them because my favorite type of video to watch from people is also vlogs. I like being nosy and I like seeing the behind the scenes of people's lives. So vlogging is always fun, but you don't need a whole lot of inspiration to do that. You just have to be like, I'm gonna film a video today. Let me carry the camera around, no problem. But for the other content that I create, it's not seeing it on social media and seeing someone else do it that inspires me to do it. I am often inspired by two things. One, my own life experience and realizations I have had and lessons I have learned being one step ahead of my audience. So for example, I am currently sharing a lot about intuitive eating and what I'm discovering and how it's working. Why? Because that's literally the season of life that I am in. And upcoming, spoiler alert, we're gonna have a conversation about how my body is changing because just today, I'm sitting here having a completely mind-boggled day because I'm currently wearing a shirt that did not fit me properly 3 months ago, and it fits me now. And this is the second shirt I've tried on today that has done that. And so my body's changing. My measurements have changed. I took measurements today just to check in because I'm like, why do these clothes fit? And my measurements are down. And I'm sitting here going, but I haven't tracked. The scale hasn't changed. All of like these crazy things like dieting mindset, Brianna would be like, there's no way, this is not real. But instead I'm getting validated. And my life experience, this experience is what is going to go into the mind behind my content creation for anytime I touch on this topic because I'm experiencing it in real time. The other way that I get inspiration for the content that I create is by the questions and comments that I am seeing on social media. So not the posts from social media influencers themselves, but the commentary underneath it. I am in different Facebook groups. I'm still in, I'm in Healthy, like the app, Facebook groups, and the questions that I see in the healthy community and the concerns and the struggles that I see in the healthy community or on YouTube videos of mine or somebody else's who I happen to watch and we create the similar kind of content. If I'm seeing a reoccurring theme happening, that's how I know that there is a need for that kind of content and that problem to be solved. So that is how I will get the inspiration to create. So for example, Another reason, like I'm doing the intuitive eating thing for me, right? But another reason that I'm going so heavily on it is because I'm seeing so many people talking about falling off the wagon and I can't get back on track. And this is the 50th time I've restarted. And I'm so tired of dieting, tracking, weighing, the same 5 pounds going up and down again. I'm seeing all of this on a recurring basis, and it's yelling at me saying these people need to know about the intuitive eating lifestyle and the power that it has. So all of those comments I'm seeing there, and the underlying subtext is, I'm tired of dieting, I need to get off this roller coaster. And I'm a step ahead. I stopped dieting, I got off the roller coaster, I've gotten on with my life, and I'm feeling fabulous because of it. Therefore, I am compelled to make that content for you. So it comes from all sorts of places. And also sometimes it comes from, I want to share a book I read, I want to share my favorites, I want to share X, Y, and Z, and that's okay too. Next question. I had a stroke in December 2021. Best exercise when your left side doesn't work as well as your right side. First of all, I'm sorry you're going through that. As somebody who has a disability, I kind of understand, but also I don't know the extremity of I don't know how extreme the discrepancy between your two sides is. So I don't know if I'm completely related to it or not. But what I do know is this: any exercise that you feel you can execute safely is the best exercise for you to do. I don't want you to try and do something because you think you should be able to do something, but really it's a big struggle. And along that same vein, I don't want you to do something that's such a big struggle that you get discouraged. I want you to be able to approach exercise and movement with joy. And there is no exercise or movement that doesn't count. There is no exercise or movement that is too simple, that is not good enough. That does not exist. If right now and forever, the only thing you feel comfortable doing is walking, that's okay. Then that's your form of exercise. That's your form of movement. You can also, I don't necessarily recommend this, but you can, and again, I don't know what exactly the discrepancy is, but like if you can lift heavier on one side than the other, then maybe just use lighter weights or something like that. My recommendation is go to a physical therapist and ask them for help. Because honestly, this is above my pay grade, and I am not trained in anatomy and physiology in such a way that I can give you the best information to go out there and get the help that you need. So please go to a physical therapist. Not a personal trainer, like go to a physical therapist, preferably one that specializes in stroke, because they will be able to help you to the best of their ability, get you on the right path to an exercise and movement routine that works for you and is beneficial for you despite your side strength discrepancy. Are you on Ozempic or Wegovy? Either way, how do you feel about these medications? Y'all like to give me the topics that are, and like the questions that are guaranteed without fail to offend somebody. So thank you for that, whoever that was. Some of them were submitted through my anonymous link, and so I don't actually know who asked me that question. First of all, no, I am not on Ozempic, Wegovy, I am not on any weight loss medication of any kind, which is even crazier, right? Like all of this is happening naturally, without tracking, without dieting, and without the aid of weight loss medications. Fascinating, I know. How do I feel about these medications? Okay, I'm going to say this in attempted the least offensive way possible. I think the medications are great for the right people, for the appropriate purposes. I know people who have had insulin resistance, who are insulin resistant, where being on something like Ozempic was really helpful and absolutely the aid they needed to get their weight loss journey underway because their body was already insulin resistant. And I think for the right people, the people that medically need it, I think it's a great tool. I do. For the people that are lazy and looking for a quick fix to weight loss because they don't want to eat like an adult and they just want a medication to do all the work for them, I do not approve. And here's the thing. I know there are people out there like that. I know most people are like, I need to use this as a tool. And they are the people that are like, I take my shot weekly and I'm eating healthy and nourishing meals, and I'm making sure I move my body and staying hydrated and taking all of the steps that you would on a weight loss journey without the help of Ozempic or Wegovy or something like that. But if you're somebody who is just like, I want the medication so I don't have to watch what I eat, do the work. Freaking do the work, okay? And if I offended you by saying that, I don't care. I really just don't care. Don't come at me with all of your negative Nancy-ness, and if you're gonna be a jerk, I'm just gonna delete your comment anyway, quite frankly. In my comment sections, conversation is always welcome. I actually got some comments on a video not too long ago. It's like, you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna tell you this anyway. And it was a genuine and constructive opinion on me, on my approach to life, on my YouTube channel. And I took those comments to heart and I actually responded to them. And I was like, thank you for your feedback. Girlfriend can accept criticism, right? What I won't accept is hate. What I won't accept is hate. If you are nasty for the sake of being nasty, delete, block, bye-bye. No questions asked. I am almost 37 years old, and it has taken me, unfortunately, almost that long to stop caring what other people think. And to allow the negative Nellies of the world to get to me. I finally let them all go. And it makes me so happy, and I'm so much more joyful because of it. So, that being said, your opinions can be your own, and that was mine. Have you noticed if your CMT has progressed? If so, how? So for those of you who don't know, I am disabled. I have a disease called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, CMT for short, and it is a peripheral nerve disease that affects the muscles in your body, the peripheral muscles, hands, arms, legs, and feet. I was one of the lucky ones, who had infant onset. So when I was born, I could not move a muscle in my body. And let's just say the fact that I graduated college 2 classes shy of a dance major was nothing short of a miracle. So putting that out there, have I noticed my CMT progress? Not really. There is one thing and one thing only that I can't do that I used to be able to do, and that is stand on my toes. Like flex my feet to stand on my toes, like calf raises. That's not surprising because one of the first muscles to actually atrophy with the typical progression of CMT is your calf muscles. One of the telltale signs of somebody with CMT is what they call Coke bottle legs. So instead of like the defined calf muscle, they look like just like upside down Coke bottles. I kind of sort of have that, but I do notice that I used to be able to get up on my toes, and I can do that no longer. However, I still have activation in those muscles, so I'm currently actively working on trying to reverse that progression and see if it is possible. So stay tuned for that. We'll see. It might not be possible to reverse it, but I'm gonna try because I know I still have activation in those muscles, so I've got to take full advantage of it. The only other thing, and it's not really progression, but occasionally I will notice more nerve pain, and it's like in a single nerve, like it'll be right here. It'll feel like electricity and it'll be painful, or it'll be right here. I had that happen on a live stream a couple weeks ago. This nerve right here, it was only about an inch. Excruciating pain for about 10 seconds, and then it was gone. And that's neuropathy, and that's part of having CMT as well. So I will occasionally get that, especially in my heels and in my toes. And if I'm really, really, really tired and have physically exerted myself, my entire calves will ache. Again, noting that the calf muscles are some of the first muscles to really feel the effects of CMT, as it is a progressive disease. But other than that, I'm the strongest I have ever been. I am the most stable I have ever been. I'm doing really well in terms of CMT, all things considered. My progression, when I go to the doctor, they're like, you haven't progressed. Like there's no strong indicator that my disease has progressed, which for somebody with a progressive disease, this is music to my ears, and I'm going to continue to actively work to make sure that that remains the case for as long as humanly possible. I was recently diagnosed with Hashimoto's and pre-diabetic. Any advice is appreciated. First of all, I'm sorry, but second of all, I love when we get a diagnosis. Why? Because with a diagnosis, we understand expectations and we can set goals and have approaches and take actions according to our diagnosis. So I always love when we get a diagnosis and we figure out what's wrong so we can go forth and fix it or learn to live with it. So that's great that you have those diagnoses now. I'm sorry you have them, but now that we have that knowledge, we can go forward. Here's the thing. I'm not sure what advice you are looking for. So my number one advice, again, this is above my pay grade. I am not a doctor. Therefore, I am not authorized to give medical advice of any kind. Go to the doctor. Go to a doctor that is a specialist in the disorders that you have and discuss with them your goals, your action plans, etc. Here's what I know that's pretty much a blanket statement. Eat a healthy and balanced diet. Food is nourishment, food is fuel, and food has the power to really cause significant change for better or for worse in your body. So one of the best things that you can do, regardless of what ails you or doesn't ail you, is make sure you're eating a nourished diet most of the time. Protein, fiber, healthy fats, produce, whole grains, all of those things. Carbs are not bad. And with the caveat, you said you're pre-diabetic, specific kinds of carbs. Focus less on the refined sugary carbohydrates and more on carbohydrates that are covered in fiber. Fiber is your friend. We love fiber. We need fiber. And even people who are on a limited carbohydrate diet need fiber, okay? There are some medical exceptions. I can't remember what they are right now, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person who asked this question. Make sure that you're nourishing your body well. Make sure that you're moving your body well. Make sure that you are controlling the stress that you have to the best of your ability to keep your hormones balanced, avoid adrenal fatigue and cortisol spikes and all of those things. Crazy cortisol spikes. Cortisol spikes happen every day and they're completely normal, by the way. So don't let people scare you into thinking cortisol is entirely the problem. It's not. Have you noticed a theme with me lately? Like, everything is fine in moderation, like including blood sugar spikes and cortisol spikes. They ain't gonna hurt you. It's fine. It's like we were built this way. Imagine that. I would, maintain a healthy and active lifestyle to the best of your ability. Make sure you're getting adequate and quality sleep because our body does a lot of our reparation and everything while we are sleeping. So have all of those things in check and then go to the doctor and see what else you can do specifically for you, because I do not know you and I do not know your medical history, and I am, again, not a doctor. All right, I think that is enough for part 1 of this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for part 2 of coffee and questions, or questions over coffee, or whatever the heck I decide to call this thing. Thank you guys for sticking with me through it. If you have any more questions that you would like me to address in a future questions over coffee video, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'm just gonna start keeping a running tally of what those questions are. So every time I feel so moved to create a video like this, I have questions ready to go. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.